So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No technical difficulties yet.
Test. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome, Slava, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. My talk today will be about two skills that I believe next generation of builders, of founders, or entrepreneurs need. Do you have a guess what it is? Do you have who has all the skills to succeed in whatever you want to do? Nobody. Okay, one. Yeah. Okay, great. So you don't need it, but maybe do you have a guess? What is the skill or ability that you need to succeed in this new AI era, please?
You need to ask proper questions.
Ask proper questions. That's great. That's a good one.
That's all opinion.
Yeah? Yeah?
Orchestrate.
Sorry?
Orchestrate.
Orchestrate, AI orchestration. Yeah, you got the first one. This is the first one. Anyone? Okay. Before I tell you what I think the second one is, so AI orchestration is the first one. Maybe some background story, who I am. Why would I tell you what you need? In the last 6 years, I was a founder, and I raised 400K from 14 investors, and I had 14 co-founders and many separations, and we failed. At the end, we failed. Well, 9 out of 10 startups fail. We were one of them. I will not go in detail what it was in terms of business model, but it was a B2B SaaS. And what led me to research what makes partnerships succeed and break. And I went into cognitive psychology, philosophy, and there are a few things that I like to share with you today. And now I'm building ClarityPledge, which is supposed to help with this. So sometimes people, of course, don't get impressed by failures, but they get impressed by me raising 400K from 14 angels. How did I do that without having product market fit? And that means we only had 14K of revenue, and somehow I managed to persuade 14 smart people to give me 400K. How did I do that? When you pitch, you get a lot of rejections. And it's very painful to hear a rejection. And naturally, people shut down and say, okay, you don't understand me, next one. I resisted to do so. When I got a rejection, I tried to understand the perspective of the investor. And I would go very deep, and I would give him the feeling that I understand him. And then I would go back and think for myself. Sometimes I would learn, or sometimes I would see he didn't get me. And my pitch would gradually change. It would get better and better and better. And sometimes I could go back to the previous investor and say, look, I learned. Here is the new thing. What do you think? So I believe these are the two skills. I call the first one is AI orchestration, which is not news to anybody. But the second one is what I call listening calibration. It's maybe a famous or glamorous word for listening and understanding. And I believe this is crucial. So what is it? Two questions. Listening calibration is the difference between the two numbers. What are these two numbers? First number is how much do you believe you understood the intended meaning of the other person. So I'm speaking right now. You in your head, you can think from 0 to 10, how much do you think you understand me? It could be who thinks it's higher than 5? Okay? And the rest, I assume, lower than 5, right? Lower? Nobody? It's hard to admit. Yeah, okay. Which is great, thank you. So, and the second question is how much the speaker, in this case me, I'm speaking, how much do I believe you understand me, right? Well, you are not speaking right now, but the difference between these two numbers is the listening calibration. Because if your number, how much you believe you understand the speaker, the other person, is much more than what he believes, you're overconfident. And that means you understand much less than you actually think, which is the case. We know that from science. from cognitive science. Most people are overconfident. Why does it matter? Because what did I do with this 400K? Well, yeah, thank you. I found other partners who would share risk with me, because 400K sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot if you want to achieve a very big goal, if you're very ambitious. So I would find other people who I would pay in equity, in options, equity options. And how do startups usually fail? We failed, and many of them fail partly also due to co-founder conflict. And it's 65%. There is a study. How did I lose them? 3 examples. First, a business co-founder. This was my first co-founder. We had an agreement. I would have 60%, he would have 40% of the company. And after 9 months of working together full time, he told me that he thought he can change it later to 50-50, which we discussed. And I told no. So it was very strange. The second one, another one, I had many, technical co-founder. He told me that 5 rejections from potential prospects are not enough to learn that our product is bad. And I told him, I learned the customer acquisition cost is very high. It's maybe 500, 1,000 euro per customer. I cannot acquire hundreds more. We learned it. We need to change the product. He didn't accept it. We had a disagreement. And then I had an advisor, I had many advisors, among them one where we agreed that, well, he was first a friend, then he was an investor, then he was an advisor. And I started to pay him. And he said he wants more money. I said, okay, but I cannot pay more. We didn't achieve yet the goal. I will pay you from once we fundraise. And he said yes. And then in between, he said, no, I want still more money. I was like, we agreed. So I lost a friend. Oh. Some statistics from 8 out of 10 leaders think they're clear. People typically think they're clear when they're speaking. Only 5 out of 10 employees actually understand what the leader says, and most of them don't speak up. They don't share it. And why is it that we are not verifying if we understand the other person? I think there are 3 main reasons. One is what is called illusion of transparency. That means we think other people understand us. There is a study, I can another time tell you a bit about it. Then there is a curse of knowledge, which means as an expert, it's hard to imagine how it is not to know things. So we start to use technical jargon, and people don't understand us. And the last one is the social norm. In typical environment, it's not normal to ask, can you repeat back I want to check if you understand what I'm saying. So I came to, in 2017, I had a sales consulting agency, and who knows Ray Dalio? Okay, who likes Ray Dalio? Okay, well, he was my hero. So I read his book, Principles, and I messaged him in cold. I found his email. In 2017, this is my email. I want to express my deepest gratitude, blah, blah, blah. And what does he reply? He actually replied. I was so surprised. It's like God replying to me. I was like, wow. I'm so happy to help you by passing the principles, pass them further, right? And what is the main thing that in his book, and Ray Dalio, by the way, for those who don't know him, he's one of the richest people in the world. He found the biggest hedge fund, 200 billion under management. So he describes his success, and he says his biggest secret to success comes from documenting mistakes and thinking clearly what principle would protect him from making this mistake again. this is what I did. When I over these years, many founders, many investors, I was documenting mistakes, and I was trying to find out what makes partnerships, good partnerships, succeed and fail. So what did I learn? The root cause, I believe, many of them is illusion, what I call illusion of shared understanding. What is it? So this is your private understanding, you understand something. This is another person, this is their private understanding. The overlap is shared. So people typically believe that it's shared, but they are wrong often, sometimes, or often I would say, when it gets complex. Most of the time we understand each other. You ask for coffee, the person gives you coffee. But when it gets complex, emotional, when values clash, when interests clash, this is where it happens. So people wrongly believe they understand the other person. And when you verify, you both know you understand the intended meaning. Okay. So I will not go deep into this. I'm developing a platform, and there will be on Monday a talk and a panel discussion about that. But essentially, the solution, I believe the solution, it's an attempt. Okay, it's an attempt to solve that for partners. Who has a business partner or just any partner? Romantic partner? Okay. Well, in partnership, I believe there are a few things that one needs to do. And I will not go into details of that, but I just want to share this one before I end. This is, who is in this group? AI Chiang Mai. Yeah? Do you recognize the message? Is it one of the messages yours? No? Okay. Well, I anonymize.
What does it say?
Okay, so it says, I'm new to using AI and I want to share something that happened yesterday. In case anyone has any insight for me, I was using Claude to track my protein and sodium intake, blah, blah, blah. And then yesterday, Claude said no. Okay? So what should I do? Blah, blah, blah. And then the person says, gaslight. Ignore it, force it. And no, force it. Just do it. And people are like, yeah, gaslight it. Okay? What did I reply? This is my reply. So I do the opposite. I say, please disagree with me. I want to understand why you disagree. And then I want to go deep, and that would help me to correct my false understanding or later correct Claude's understanding. And I think this is much better. I will not go into the full message. There is so this is the event. For those who want to attend, it's at 4Cs, 6:30 on Monday. And the last thing is just a gift, because I built it for myself. There are many events in Chiang Mai, and you need to scan like Facebook, 50 groups, Luma, Sola, and so on. I'm scraping for you. I'm scraping for myself, and I guess you can have it's a Google Calendar, so you can add to your you can see what is there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or question? Oh, sorry. Yeah, question. Any questions?
1 second.
I feel like, social problems such as this are very hard to build a structured solution around. And you are saying that you are working on a platform on this regard. Can you share how you approach it? Like, for me as a tech person who loves sociology, how do you?
Yes. So I agree, it's hard. So first of all, it's hard, and people immediately recognize it's hard. But because I have the experience of doing something really hard, I guess I have this habit. But the approach is lean startup. So there is a book, Lean Startup, and what you need to do is you need to find out what is your riskiest hypothesis. And you need to find out a way to test it in the shortest path possible. Now, it sounds very straightforward, So once you know it, you test it in the shortest way possible or the cheapest way possible. But often you don't have clarity. You have ambition and you need to start somewhere. So I started with an intuition. And there was an event 1 year ago, and I presented this, what I thought back then is a solution, which is a structured way for a paraphrasing protocol. So explain back, and I explained how to explain back, which is very strange, right? Maybe, but people told me, the crowd, there were 14 people, and they told me, this is great, but first we don't understand it, and second, we will not do, nothing will change. And so from then, I iterated. Then I thought about it, and I had another event where, actually in Chiang Mai, it was, so I walked 1,300 kilometers, and I met a lot of people, and I talked to them about my idea, and they gave me feedback. And through this feedback, I learned my mistakes, and there were many. And when I corrected these mistakes, I approached it again. And I ran the same meetup with the same idea, and now instead of everybody saying no, everybody said yes. I was like completely blown that in maybe 4 months, 5 months, it's something like that could change. And from then, there was first, let's say, sign that there could be something. I started to go step by step by step, and each time I would fail. So this is the Ray Dalio's loop. He says you make a plan, you try, you fail, you learn, and you continue. I think the actual question here is, how do you manage your mindset when you fail?